feels weird. Kind of talking about anything right now, as Jay alluded to, after the Nick Chubb injury. I tweeted out yesterday after the game, or after the injury, that for about an hour and a half, I felt like I was just going through the motions of watching the football game, and nothing was actually real.
We got to get over this already. Let's stop whining about it.
You're not a Browns fan, so be quiet here.
No,
Bull. I'm going to tell you why.
Because you can't say the one was me. I was sad too when it happened, Jay.
Bull.
Yeah.
You can't speak for Browns fans on this.
I'm speaking
can't
for
say
me.
At 11-19.
What do you want to do? You're giving up on the season?
No, I even said
you're whining and crying about
over.
The offense sucks and this sucks. Last week you're going Super Bowl, you're going buys. This week it's over.
Bull. If we don't do
that, you're too overreactionary.
Bull, if we don't do that, why do we have a job? We're here to talk about what happened, and part of that is the emotion of what happened. And for you to say at 11-19, after one of the most devastating losses this team has had, to say, get over it already!
I'm not saying get over the loss.
Bull.
I'm saying, my point is, we can't, it sucks that Nick Chubb got hurt.
Yes, it
does.
But
if we wallow in the crying and the sadness, we can't. It just feels like you're giving up on the season.
Wait a minute.
We're fanatical. I know. Wait a minute. It was sad last night. I feel like we got to just.
This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is how you got to look at it. Okay, Bull. Everybody's different. So for you, it might be easy to be like, you know what? Let's just flip the page. For me, as an athlete,
I was over the Bengals lost by 11-19 the next day.
Turn the page.
I didn't care anymore.
But you can't.
You're missing the point.
You can't tell people how to handle their
I'm talking to myself. But fine. Here's my point. To me, as a fan, it was the third most sad feeling I had about an injury in my life. Mm-hmm. Third, for a team I don't even root for, okay?
Who was first and second?
It was when Tim Crumry in the Super Bowl, it was long before your time.
I don't even know who that is.
In the early 80s.
Bengals.
When his ankle was spinning around like this.
Awful injury. Awful.
And then Carson Palmer.
And it was like early in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, killed him. He was their best player on defense.
Same thing. The Bengals were gutted after the injury.
And then Carson Palmer getting his knee blown out in the playoffs against the Steelers.
You know what I was surprised by?
In the regular season, I'm telling you, Cubs, Bengals, this is the most upset I was about an injury last night. And I was upset all night, and I felt the same way you guys did, and I don't care who doesn't believe me. I was bummed. I wasn't into the game, blah, blah. And now I woke up this morning, and I'm like, all right, I got to pep everybody up. Let's go. That's where I'm coming from.
Yeah, but Bull, I'll tell you, there are certain times when...
Well, you just want to wallow in the sadness.
It's as a fan, it's so... You know the stages of grief?
All right, I hear you.
And the therapy that you have to go through?
I hear you.
We will be fine. This fan base is as resilient a fan base as there is in the world. How do I know that? Because no fan base has been beat up more. But here's what I'll say about this whole thing. When it happened, the initial feeling was, oh my God, I don't know how we reach our season's goals. Then we were like, okay, that's macro. You'll address that down the road.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that. Maybe they'll get Jonathan Taylor. I imagine they've already called Kareem Hunt. I imagine they are in the process right now of making it so we can put that behind us. Yeah. It's kind of early for me.
Fair. That's fair.
And I apologize for jumping on you, but in the moment, right. I'm like, I'm not over it yet.
My attitude is I want to cheer everybody up on that.
And I get that, and I applaud you for that.
Make you feel like it's not the season over. But I get it. You're right. It's a devastating injury, and we all love Nick Chubb. And
I think more personally, for Nick. Not that if it happened to someone else, it would be different.
No,
but because this
everybody loves him.
He is one of the most beloved athletes we've ever had.
Yeah.
He deserves to win something of value. He deserves to stand on a Super Bowl stage and have confetti fall on his head.
Yeah.
And
as
now
you said before, the worst thought is that's his last touch as a Brown.
Oh, that makes me.
If that happens, which might very well, that's just the worst.
I don't know. I like Nick Chubb is one of those guys. They've told him he was done before, and he found a way to come back from that. And I
know, but this one is different.
But the thing about Nick Chubb is that he's going to at least try it. He gonna go. He gonna attack.
I know he gonna try harder to get back.
He gonna try.
The only guy we've seen come back like right away. Because remember, most guys that blow out their knee,
McGahee.
it takes a couple of years. But in most guys, including McGahee, it takes a couple of years to come back.
Came back in 8 months.
Peterson's the only guy that came back quick. Now he's that caliber of player and an athlete.
You know what? It's positive that you said that because Nick Chubb and Adrian Peterson are similar in their natural physiques and their ridiculous strength. Their greatness.
Yeah.
On the Kevin Stefanski thing, like you said, sample size. I don't know who shared this. I had seen it before, and I meant to bookmark it. When I went back to look for it, I couldn't find it. But Mike sent it to the group this morning, and I'll read it. The Browns are 1-23 under Kevin Stefanski in games they trailed by 4+ points in the fourth quarter. That's since he's become the head coach. Since his first season in 2020, that's the second worst winning percentage, which is
.42.
.42. .042. 4% winning. He's only won 4% of the games in which he's trailed by 4 points or more in the fourth quarter. The only team that's worse over that stretch is the Panthers, who have never done it. They haven't come back in that stretch. They're 0-13.
And oddly, Baker is
so,
part
Bull,
of both of those.
when I say, I know. When I say, Bull, like you said, well, that's kind of a small sample size. There's one common thread through all the quarterbacks. It's the guy who's called all the plays during that stretch.
Well, but let me say this.
It's very true.
If you want to, listen, I'm Kevin Stefanski.
And I'm not advocating firing Kevin Stefanski.
Can't be immune to criticism.
No.
That's fair. However, the fact that a week ago everybody was loving Kevin Stefanski, and now 1 week later we're like, he can't be the offensive coordinator, I think that's too much of an overreaction.
That's why.
Those stats were there before this game, too.
I had mentioned last week, and I asked it to the panel, because I don't have an answer for it. And people I talk to don't have an answer for it. How do you explain that against one of the yardstick teams in the conference, not the division, in the conference, he's what, 6-1? What is his record against Cincinnati? I think it's 6-1.
He's much better against Cincinnati.
And then against the rest of the league, against everybody else, it's like 7 games under 500.
It's a favorable matchup. I tell you what.
No, I don't know that that's it. But maybe it is, but.
Well, the one interesting thing about the Browns and the Kevin Stefanski thing is this, is that as a defense, okay, you switched your defensive coordinator in the offseason, and that defense went from one of the worst defenses to looking like one of the best.
Could you do that with the switch at offensive coordinator?
Yes, but the thing is, how is it that Jim Schwartz have that much of an impact that he can take a group of guys and flip them?
Well, they did add a lot of guys.
They did. They added a lot of D-line,
If he was doing it with the same crew, I would say the guy's Houdini.
Did the offense not add some pieces? They got a whole new receiving core.
Here's the problem with the offense, because this hasn't changed. So the constant
that
in your
left
experiment
tackle
is that's one of them. But the constant in your experiment is it's the same guy drawing up and calling the plays.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So
I still don't believe that the drawing of the plays is the biggest problem. It's the execution that has been the issue.
But haven't you seen a lack of creativity? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but to me, when I look at the offense, I'm like,
the first game, I thought he was very creative. I just thought the weather was bad and he missed some throws. But I thought as far as drawing people and scheming people open, they was open.
Jay, you guys all complained about the 4th-and-1 option play, which I
was terrible.
I hated
that.
It.
That was
terrible.
What I hated worse than that.
What's he not doing creatively?
So what I hated more than that was
the 3 passes.
3rd and 1.
Yeah.
And you need a yard. And Chubb was still in the game at that point. Like, why
he had come out for 2nd and 3rd down.
I know he did.
I think he was a little gassed, maybe.
Maybe. But what I don't understand is why we always try to outthink everybody. On 3rd and 4th and 1 with Nick Chubb, and I do know that he did come out of the game.
Yeah.
I just don't get why you're trying to dazzle and razzle and fool the room.
They got the first down, and Watson fumbled.
They did get the first down, and Watson fumbled.
Yeah.
But by the way, he barely got the first down. What I'm saying is, if I have those pieces, and I know what the situation is, it's 3rd and 1, I don't need to think. I don't need to do this.
Well, it's something.
I don't need any of that. I'm like, I got Nick Chubb.
60 seconds,
give him the ball.
You've said he's not creative enough, and then he's trying to be too smart. Well, what is it?
No,
those are counterintuitive.
Bull, on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1, creativity doesn't come into play.
So
run it up their throat.
What I said, do you have the confidence in your players? I mean, that's what you got to think about it like this. If I got
24, I trust.
If I got some dogs, okay, if I got some dogs on the offensive line and my running back is a dog and I trust him, I don't care if the whole team know what we're doing. They probably do know. You should still get that 3rd and 1 yard.
If he runs Nick Chubb 95 times on 3rd and 1 but doesn't do it 5 times, what? You think Derrick Henry on 3rd and 1 gets the ball every time?
Well,
no.
I also gave another example when they took over on the 19-yard line.
Yeah.
And at that point, Nick had 4 carries for over 20 yards. So he's averaging 5.
Yeah.
He didn't touch the ball. They threw it, missed
one
a field goal.
series. So what?
No, now the other series is the 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. There's a lot of examples. There's examples.
But they got the first down on the 4th and 1. I don't know what to tell you.
Technically, Bull.
They got it. He fumbled.
Technically,
how's that Stefanski's fault?
Well,
it's not even that the play works or doesn't. In that case, we have the benefit of the results to make our argument.
Right.
In the moment, I'm saying, don't get cute here.
Question.
You know what to
but
do.
You also said you're not creative. So you don't want to be cute or creative.
Not on 3rd and 1. On 3rd and 1, I don't want cute.
Wait a minute.
Just run up the middle on 3rd and 1 every time?
Wait a minute.
With Nick Chubb, yes.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
So you said that he got the first down on the 4th and 1.
Yeah.
Question. Why not just run a quarterback sneak?
I know.
All the whining last year from some people on this panel about Jacoby Brissett coming in the 4th and 1. Maybe DeShaun Watson can't run a quarterback sneak. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
I mean,
I find it. I don't. Maybe DeShaun Watson switched to that play. He has a lot of flexibility in the huddle there.
Well, that's a
so
bad
every time
job
people call about
You are kidding.
every time people talk about listen, anybody criticizing the play calling to me is completely lost. You don't know what the play was called.
I agree with that.
Well, now wait a minute.
I don't know what the play is called.
No, but we don't know what the play call was, but we can watch if he checks out of a play. He didn't check out of that play.
I don't remember.
Well, you tend to remember when a quarterback checks out because you hear the call and everybody's like, "Oh wow, he just changed the play." I don't remember that happening on that play.
Can't you have a silent change of play?
No, everybody's got to hear it.
No,
everybody's
got to hear it. Now, sometimes when 2 plays are called in the huddle,
they can one.
Yeah, that's it. And you can do that with a gesture, a hand motion.
That's what I'm saying.
But I didn't see anything. I typically remember when
you were looking that closely at it.
Well, no, I can honestly say I don't remember him not checking
even
out.
Still, you're talking
I tend to remember when guys check out a play.
Even if you're right about that play, that's one play. Like people complain about every time the Browns lose, and this probably happens with every other fan base too. I'm just not paying attention to any other fan bases right now. But every time the Browns lose, there's this song and dance about the play calling. Every time they win and nobody mentions it.
We got to see. I got to see
complaining about their play calling too, and you know why they're not complaining as much this morning? They got the win.
No, they're still complaining.
They should. By the way, what an indictment that offense was part of the winning team last night. They were absolutely awful.
My main point, Jay, though, is we blame the coaches too much. If the players play. We've spent all this time talking about Kevin Stefanski. DeShaun Watson is by far the main reason they lost that game.
1,000%. He's not off the hook here either.
Yeah.
I just happened to make a comment about the coach.
I got to see it from the all-22.
I haven't begun yet on the quarterback.
We got to watch it from the all-22 angle because I need to see if these receivers was open or not. Right? Like, I get that.
Yeah, no, sometimes you can't.
You can't see it from a TV camera. You got to see it from the
Amazon game on Thursday, by the way?
Yeah.
I meant to bring this up Friday, and I don't think I did. Did you watch the channel? They have a dedicated channel now to the All-22.
I did not see that.
Really?
And please check it out Thursday night.
Watch that.
So not only that, they have all of the stats buried into all the players that are wearing trackable equipment.
Oh, you can see that miles per hour.
It shows everything. It's giving you real-time analytics.
I like that.
Telemetry, basically. It's a really interesting watch. Now, I will say, it's hard to watch the whole game
Do they
that
have
way.
Announcers or no?
It's the same audio feed so you still hear Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit. So when you hit Amazon and you go to their load page, there's 3 options. One is the live regular broadcast that we're used to. Mm-hmm. The middle one is Spanish broadcast, and the one on the far right is their analytics broadcast. It's all 22.
I can give that
and I can't wait to watch a Browns game that way because you're right. What I learned from watching a full game like that live, you can see so much better who's open and what the decision needs to be.
That's how that looks. Like the all-22 is exactly how when you're a player and you're watching tape, that's the copy that you get.
Yeah.
Is that exact copy.
And it opens up everything.
You can see everybody see exactly what everybody was doing.
Now,
and I need to see from the receivers.
Maybe they weren't open.
I don't know.
What is with Elijah Moore not being able to get his feet
I don't know. I don't know.
That's a skill, right? I mean, that's a skill on the sideline is to be able to drag your feet, and he's got to be better at that. But it felt like almost every throw that Watson made to the sidelines was bad throw.
He did have a couple of key third down conversions when they were really, really deep, when they were in jail. So there were a couple possessions that they started inside the 10 that went to a 3rd and long, and twice he made dart throws to the right receiver that really wasn't even open. One of them was Amari Cooper. He went up on the sideline and came down with a great catch.
Yeah.
Another one was the out-of-bounds play on Moore. I thought it was
Right.
a completion. He didn't get both feet in.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating for me with Watson. I saw him make throws yesterday that I was absolutely saying that there's DeShaun Houston.
Well, consistency is always
that's the problem.
That's the thing in this league.
The game is happening too fast.
Here's the problem
for him right now.
Every quarterback, no matter how bad, can make a few good throws, right? Kenny Pickett made 2 or 3 nice throws.
He did.
That throw for the touchdown, that long touchdown, was a nice throw.
It's your consistency.
Zach Wilson, as bad at any quarterback as we've seen, made 2 or 3 really nice throws. The good quarterbacks, like almost all their throws are good throws, even if they're not completed. Go ahead on DeShaun Watson because you really haven't talked about him yet.
I think Mike.
Mike,
go
ahead, Mike.